Here's the start of race one. Nice lineup. Everybody seems to make it over on time. Got a number of boats that started close to the boat end, I'll call it. They're going to straight shot. You got one boat coming out to the right here. That's Tommy Henshaw and 90, the pink hull. Now you can see the Ken Reed, number 4, followed by Scott McLeod, followed by Matt Soul, followed by Parker Ives. Coming up, here's 99. That's Chris Kellig. They're coming up to the windward gate. The gate, all races for this series will be outside in at the windward gate, inside out at a leeward gate, one time around from the start-finish line to windward to leeward and back to the start-finish line. Parker Ives looking pretty good. Ken Reed coming back over. They're going to go for the orange pylon there. That's one of the remote bots. And they've got to come in between that and the yellow ball. That's the gate. Ken does a really nice turning around. He's followed closely by Scott McLeod. Parker Ives in third place at this point. And 97, the Grinch, Will Musler is there. Tommy Henshaw. Here they're going on their downwind leg. Scott looks pretty good. Ken going a little bit to the right, but not sure which side he may have decided to shift, or we're not sure what's going to happen. Little separation there in the downwind leg. Pretty good wind today. Goes from a good solid upper A rig to the top of the A rig possibilities. Here we're coming down. You can see the orange pylon, which is the starboard end of the leeward gate. The other boats coming down. Unfortunately, the guys standing on the dock are going to block our view of them boats coming back up to the start-finish line in race 2. We'll shoot a little bit farther to the right so you can see the whole course, but you can see the boats going up in that gap between the guys on the dock. We've got Scott McLeod and Parker Ives there, but you're going to see Ken Reed. There he is, number 4. He's managed to get through the leeward gate and beat everybody. Coming back on the windward leg coming up, there's brother Brad Reed in 88 coming up too. Ken Reed will take this race. Second place will go to Scott McLeod, and third will go to Tommy Henshaw. He caught up really well at the going on the downwind leg, and he sailed a nice windward leg here. You can see that the shifts are causing a lot of tacking going back from the leeward gate up to the start-finish line. That's been true all day. It seems to be much shiftier in that section of the course than in the course from the start-finish line to the windward gate. Here Ken is coming in. He'll finish first. You'll see him cross the line right there. Then you'll see Scott McLeod, 47, Tommy Henshaw, 90. Parker Reed, Ives is there, it's 127, but he's a couple of boats back. So as we go through these pictures of the guys who are racing, you can see they're dressed in their summer finest. Boy, it was cold on Sundays. It was 10 degrees warmer than it had been on a sunny Saturday, but that no sun, and everybody was reaching for the warmest things they could find. The guys with the heated gloves were just smiling. Here we have the start of race 2 on Sunday, January 26, 2025. In every race here, one of the guys in the fleet sits out, is given redress as an average of all the scores for the day, and that person calls the start-finish line. The first person who finishes a given race then calls all the other boats that come to behind them in order to record the finishes. So in every race, it was Matt Ward in race 1. It's Ken Reed in this race. They're sitting out, but they're acting as a PRO for the given race. Here we go. We see Tommy Henshaw coming up there. We see Brad Reed looking pretty sharp. See Scott McLeod again. Matt Soule's coming in on port, but Scott tacks and lets Matt continue on port. Brad Reed is coming up. He's looking pretty good. You've got 99 coming in from that's Chris Kelmig. He had to tack away. Brad is he has to duck Tommy Henshaw. Tommy went out to the right to start with, and it looks like he just got a really good line coming into the windward gate. He's turning the port into the gate now. He's coming down. Chris Kelmig didn't turn quite fast enough, so Brad was able to slip in behind him. And now we're starting the downwind leg. We skipped now to close to the leeward gate, and got Tommy Henshaw coming in. Looks like he's still got the lead, although Brad Reed is hot on his tail. And you got Parker Reed there. You got Matt Ward. You got Chris Kelmig. You got Scott Innes-Jones. You got David Moffley. You got Scott McLeod coming in. You have Matt Soule. Pretty tight grouping. Good racing. Tommy turned the gate first. Brad is coming up. They're going to have a tacking duel coming up now to the finish. Tommy has an advantage, and he's to windward, and he's on starboard. We'll see what happens if Brad comes back across on port here. See whether he can gain enough. Oh, Tommy tacked off. Spotted a wind shift or something there. It's okay. They're both now on port tack. Here, Tommy's coming back. This is going to be the moment of truth here. Let's see what happens. Brad had to duck Tommy, so it's really been a close race all the way here. Tommy's going to stay on that tack, and he's actually going to finish in first place. Brad will come in second. Third will be Will Musler from the 97 in the Grinch. Well, here we got the guy standing on the dock, freezing cold, trying to stay warm. You can see they're all bundled up. We're getting ready to start race 3 here. In this particular race, Brad Reed is sitting out. He'll be the PRO, call the line, call the finishes, or record the finishes. Here we go. Start. Looks like a good start, except that it looks like, in this case, Ken may have fouled somebody, so you see he's doing a circle. Ken Reed, or got fouled somehow. Anyways, puts him back a bit. We see Tommy Henshaw just pinched up there on a gust, and he's coming across looking pretty good. He's staying high. He's working his boat up. Behind him you have 99, which is Will Musler. You have 84, Jeff Roy. Scott McLeod, 47. Matt Ward, 39. 32 is David Mofflett. You have 97, who's Will Musler. Okay, and the first boat to turn, 90, Tommy Henshaw. Really good leg. Coming up behind him is Chris Kelmig. This time, Chris gets a good turn and turns around in second. Some of the guys are going a little bit high on the missed it. Of course, they're looking from a lot further downwind than this particular line of the video. Now we're headed for the skip down to getting near to the start-finish line again on the downwind leg. Tommy's got a really, not a horizon job yet, but he's really pulled it out. He's way ahead. He's coming down. He's going to go for the left gate. Going around that. Right behind him is Chris Kelmig having a nice race. Behind him we have Will Musler in 97. This is good. You got Scott McLeod in 47. There was David Mofflett, 32 there off to the right. Came around. Tommy's just got good control of this race. He's not going to have much trouble, I don't think, in finishing it up. Everybody else coming down. I'll just watch Tommy sail a nice leg. Oh, a little bit of a little header there. That's Jeff Roy out to the left of him, the orange, Agent Orange boat. Tommy's boat is named It'll Buff Out. And 32, David Moffat is Muffley. So Tom's coming back. Tommy's coming back. Looking really good. Really excellent race for him. And I'll turn up. And he finishes in first. Here we go at the start of race 4. Getting a pretty good lineup on the line. A couple boats out to the pin end. Most everybody is usual clustered up by the boat end, the right end of the start line. Going, here they go. It looks like Scott McLeod is the black boat that's about 2/3 of the way across the screen. He's got a good line, setting a little higher than Ken Reed and Matt Ward's. Ken Reed's 4, Matt Ward is 39. There's Brad Reed, 88, 06. We've got Steve Miniger. 84 is Jeff Roy. Everybody's making a run for that windward gate. Outside in. Ken tacks back onto port, but look, Scott McLeod and Matt Ward just coming in from the right. Do a really good leg. Scott turns beautifully to top mark. Matt's pretty close behind him. He had a little bit more trouble getting around. Ken had to dodge Matt there, and Ken followed by Brad, followed by Scotty Ennis-Jones, and Chris Helmig and Steve Miniger. Here we go. A couple of boats getting caught up at the gate. David missed. Parker's coming in. Is he going to make it? Yeah, he'll make it. Tommy Henshaw's a little bit far back in the pack this time. And here's Will Musler coming up. Okay, now we're going down to the leeward gate. Scott McLeod turns first, and who dat? Followed by Matt Ward, followed by Ken Reed. The next boats are going to be 09 is Scott Ennis-Jones. 99 is Chris Helmig. 84 is Jeff Roy. Okay, and they've turned around. Scott looks like he's got a pretty good position. He's to the windward of Matt Ward and leading him. Ken is a little bit ahead of Matt Ward, but Matt's going to kind of pin him. Going to see the point is that Matt will drive all the way up to the ley line in order to make an attack back on port, which kind of pins Ken in this race, forces him to follow Matt into the follow him to the line. So in this race, Scott McLeod is going to get first. Here comes Matt. He just tacked back. He'll grab a second, sneaking into the line. There's Ken Reed, and followed closely by Brad Reed. So those are the first 4 finishers in this race. Now we move on to race 5. Here we are. We're setting up at the starting line. Most of the boats are at the towards the boat end or the right end of the starting line. Let's see who breaks out in front. Ken Reed gets a good jump, and he's followed closely by his brother Brad in the yellow boat. Ken's got number 4, the black boat. We've got some boats further out to the right here. Chris Kelmig in 99, and he's followed by Parker Eyes, 127. Everybody looks like they're doing pretty well going upwind. Let's see what happens at the windward gate. Outside in. Yeah, Chris looks like he's got pretty good position here. Ken, everybody's just trying to squeeze up when they have a little gust to do so. Here's the turn. The orange is the mark, is the one to turn. Chris turns maybe a little late. He could have turned sooner, and he doesn't come down that fast, which lets Ken Reed slip underneath him, gain the lead. Chris Kelmick turns second. We're going to have a third boat coming in a second. We're going to see is Parker Ives. That's 127. And following him is Brad Reed in 88 and Scott McLeod in 47. We're going to get a bit of a jam up at the windward gate. Now we're just flashed down to the leeward gate, and Ken's built a substantial lead. He's going to turn the left side of that gate and come back up. Looks like Brad is going to be in second place. And Parker and Chris are vying for third. Okay, Brad turned second, but Parker just got inside of Chris, gave him room, and was able to turn in third. And we'll see what happened. Then Scott McLeod, looks like Scott McLeod came next. A little trouble tacking, but he's going to recover pretty nicely here. So Ken sitting out in front. Fairly usual position for Ken when he's hot. And he's got it in this race. Okay, he's going to tack way out. He'll be coming out of the pin end or the left end of the starting line. He'll have to tack one more time to come in and finish. And then we will pan across and see the boats that finish behind him. In second place would be Brad Reed in the yellow boat. Third place would be Parker Ives, who's following Brad there in 127. And fourth place will go to Scott McLeod, 47.